The punk and hardcore scenes are known for having tropes and trends that permeate the entire culture, okay? Now, some of these tropes and trends are okay to stay around, okay? I don't want to ever see punk rockers not doing mohawks. I always want to be seeing plaid. I always want to be seeing camo. These are the kinds of tropes and trends that need to stick around. I do not want to exist in a world where I go to a hardcore show and there are no Air Max 90s. But just like the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, now we're in the 2022s, and I gotta tell you which tropes and trends need to go in today's underground punk rock and hardcore culture. Hey ladies, how's it going? Dan Frampton here, and how's about you like and subscribe? About 69% of you aren't subscribed, and that is a travesty. Change that, subscribe to the channel today. Now I have 7 tasty trends that I think need to end, and I know this is gonna ruffle some feathers. There are gonna be some things on this list that you do not wanna hear. But if you're going out there with wool sweaters without elbows in it, you're okay in my books. Okay, so the first trend that I think needs to hit the bricks is the fanny pack strap. I don't want to see this anymore, okay? This doesn't look cool. This doesn't look fancy. This looks annoying. And actually, I've done this before. It's actually quite uncomfortable. If you want to do the fanny pack, it's called a fanny pack for a reason, okay? You put it where your fanny is. You don't put it where your boobies are, okay? So you put that down on your fanny. But even that, I don't think that that's cool, okay? There was a time in the 90s where the fanny pack was rad. And there was time in the 2010s where wearing your fanny pack, like, I don't know, like a little strap here, like a little messenger bag or whatever, like that was acceptable and cool. But now we're in the 2020s and this needs to go. But of course, I'm not going to say that without offering a suggestion, maybe a better alternative over here. And I think the better alternative is this kind of thing, okay? You got it strapped to your leg, you got it strapped to your waist. It goes around front where your fanny is, it goes around back where your other fanny is. You can have it on the side. You can do it leather, you can do it denim, you can do it all sorts of ways, but as long as it like straps around your leg and also your waist and is just like a big pouch somewhere on your hip, then that is okay by me. Imagine all the different kind of patches you can throw on this thing, all the different like misfit skulls that could be arranged on something like this. I can see this kind of fanny pack wrapped around a set of denim pants, wrapped around a set of leather pants, wrapped around a set of, well, I forget what other pants there are in the world, maybe some camos, and you can get fancy. Maybe you get 3 different colored straps and a different colored pouch. There's so many options. I don't really know what to call this other than the tactical pouch. So by the time we get to the end of the year, I better be seeing more tactical pouches out there in the pit. And not only is this a better alternative looks-wise, it's also more practical. You could stage dive, you could two-step, you could skank, you can throw some elbows, you can do your windmills, okay? And this thing is not gonna bounce around. This isn't gonna hit other slammers in the face. This is gonna be nice and compact, and you don't need to worry about it going anywhere because it's strapped to your leg and to your waist. And one alternative to this that I will accept, but it is the multi-strap version. If you're gonna wear it on your chest, it needs to wrap around your chest and your neck. And if you're badass enough to rock the neck strap, then that's cool. Then you could totally do it. But the next trend that I wanna see ending this year is a band trend, okay? Now, a lot of hardcore bands that are out there in the scene, you know, they have a front man, and that front man likes to do speeches. He likes to do some talks. He likes to like get some stuff off his mind while the band is tuning. But the problem with this is they all do and say the exact same thing. They want to mention the town that they're in. They want to mention the town that they came from. They want to talk about how their fucking van broke down, okay? They want to talk about the next song. They want to talk about you slam dancing, okay? They'll tell you how many songs they have left. It's fucking boring as hell. But over here, I got Aaron Bedard of the band Bane, and he does a speech or two. His speeches are sometimes longer than the songs. But the reason why I think that these speeches are okay is because that's part of the show, and he's like bearing his soul to everybody in this room. But yes, if you've seen them a bunch of times, then you've heard him say the same thing a whole bunch of times, and it does start to wear thin. So I think that bands shouldn't be afraid of making some jokes on stage, doing some creative things to liven up the stage banter. They literally all do the same thing. How's everybody feeling tonight? Did you like this band? Did you like that band? Well, we're this band and we're from this place. Are you guys looking forward to this other band? Who cares? Get on with it. Tell us a story. Bare your soul to us. If you're angry, tell us why you're so angry. If you have a message, tell us about your message in detail, okay? Show your personality. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable out there on the stage. That's what people will gravitate to. So I know you're thinking, oh man, that's gonna be so lame. That's gonna be so whack if I go out there and just blah, 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 blah. Nah, do it, dog. Go out there and say what's actually on your mind, what's actually in your heart, and what's actually motivating you as a person and you as an artist. Those things are available for you to say, so I don't know why fucking frontmen are choosing to be boring sons of bitches right now. And it goes like across the board. They all take a look at Sammy from Drain and they just do mediocre versions of that. But the reason why Sammy's so good at it is because of his charisma and how he makes you feel like it's okay to jump around. Now is the time to jump around and we're gonna do this together and have a lot of fun. But other frontmen aren't necessarily blessed with that same charisma to make the people move around like that. So dig down. You're an artist. Find something to talk about. Another band that mastered the speech is Incendiary. The next trend that I think needs to stop is the bucket hat. Okay, now the bucket hat comes and goes, and it'll always come and go. But to me, there is nothing less cool than a bucket hat. Even you got Franz from Turnstile over here rocking the bucket hat. The guy that quit Turnstile, Brady, he was famous for wearing the bucket hat. You got this Turnstile bucket hat. And when Turnstile goes mainstream wearing the bucket hats, that means the bucket hats also go mainstream. So on the underground scene, in the hardcore shows where people are throwing their bodies around, they shouldn't be wearing these bucket hats. They're mainstream now. They're lame. And there are no exceptions. No camo ones, no band ones, nothing. They all suck. They all gotta go. They're all very, very bad. But there's one way that you could make this ironically so bad that it's kind of so good, is if you got the bucket hat, you got the Hawaiian shirt, you got the board shorts, and more importantly, you're going with some flip-flops. The next trend that absolutely needs to stop is going bald. What's with going bald? Why are all these middle-aged dudes just going bald? They see one guy go bald, and they're like, hey man, that guy went bald pretty gracefully, I'm gonna go bald too. Or they look at some melon on the internet, and they're like, this guy's bald, that means it's okay to be bald. They see Stone Cold Steve Austin out there being a baldy bald, and they're like, I want to be a baldy bald. Maybe they tune into some Despicable Me, they see Gru being all bald, and they're like, I want to be a bald evil man. I don't know why people get so inspired to be bald all of a sudden. If you wanted to be bald, why weren't you bald when you were born, you stupid idiot? Now another thing that's been riling me up is the word end, okay? Everybody's using the word end. There is a band just called End. This band over here calls themselves End It, and that's okay because they're a pretty sick band. But if you're a shitty, no-name, independent, low-level, crappy-ass Canadian hardcore band and you call yourself End Game, well son, you've just done the lamest thing in the world. I don't want to see the word end in song titles, in band names, in logos, on posters, in flyers, anywhere. Even the name of this video shouldn't have the word end in it. And most people aren't going to notice this, okay? Or most people haven't noticed it so far. But now that I mentioned it, you're going to have your eyes looking out for the word end. But that isn't the end of this video. There are still 2 more points to make, and both of those points can be visualized in this one album cover, okay? So, the number 2 trend that needs to stop is bubble graffiti logos, okay? If you look over here, everybody's doing the bubble graffiti logo because they're doing tsunami worship. So basically, tsunami worship needs to end. Why is tsunami so great? Why does everybody want this bubble logo? I have no idea. But one thing about this that needs to stay around is the line drawing aspect. I love the style of this, and I love the imagery of all the different kinds of violent acts that are depicted in this line style. All of that needs to stay. But the one thing that needs to go, I have no idea why every band in the world right now needs a hoodie goon and a hoodie goblin on their goddamn covers, okay? These ghouls and goblins are so trite. Talk about the least creative thing in the world. Yes, I think that the hoodie should stay a mainstay as a trend in the scene forever. Of course, the hoodie is classic, but these like evil hoodie criminal things, goblin goon things that are just everywhere right now needs to stop. Now, I know a lot of people that are very good at art that have dedicated the last like 3 years of their life to just drawing these goons and just drawing these goblins because that's what the bands want. The bands want these things for some reason, but I don't think that it's cool, okay? I think it's gotta stop. I think it was fine with Tsunami because Tsunami started as kind of like a parody of a tough guy band, okay? So they wanted to have like the most insane, shocking imagery with these hoodie goons. But everybody that's doing it right now is just copying a copy. They're just a clone of a clone, and I would be embarrassed, okay, if I was a band that had a hoodie goon on my album cover in the year 2023. What could be more whack than that? You can't tell one from the other. You can't tell one band's goon from another band's goblin. Okay, they all suck ass. And I think they love to do it because it gets away with having to actually draw a face. You know, they just like blacking out the shadowy figure underneath the hoodie and showing the evil eyes. Yeah, that's gonna really make us feel like we're a hardcore band. Stop doing this, hardcore bands, it sucks. But do you think I would give you 7 trends that need to end without telling you 2 trends that I wanna see pick up? I mentioned one earlier, okay? That is going out there in flip-flops and eventually barefoot. Now, I'm not talking a whole pit full of barefoot people. That doesn't make any sense. You still got your Doc Martens out there. You still got your Converse and your Vans and your clogs or whatever. That's what makes the barefoot motion so badass. And the other thing that needs to stick around is the dual front person thing. Not 2 singers that one plays guitar, one is just a vocalist. 2 dedicated front people. Because then maybe we might get some like actual stage banter. Okay, what trends do you want to see end? What trends do you want to see started? Before you bounce on out of here, how's about you like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell if you're cool as hell. And until my next upload, god dang, you can watch another upload.